pages are filled with compelling content that resonates with modern, empowered women. Imagine your brand showcased alongside inspiring stories, fashion trends, and lifestyle tips. Place your business ad in our magazine today. Contact us today at murderedvoices@gmail.com for a quote. Let your brand shine in the pages of our women's magazine. Unleash the power of advertising that speaks directly to your target market. Elevate your brand. Elevate your success. Email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com.
WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
You know what? Excellence is what you want, and excellence is what you get. How are you living? What are you giving? If excellence is what you see, then excellent is who you be. What are you pursuing? It's all up to you. And when you come and make.
Hello, beloved. Hello, hello, hello. It is absolutely wonderful to be with you this morning. Dr. Catherine E. James here, bringing you For the Love of It, a weekly television show designed with one sole purpose in mind, and that is adding more love into the world, one episode at a time. Thank you for sharing your precious time with me. I am grateful to have you join live now or later to watch the broadcast replay through YouTube, WHPR TV 33, For the Love of It. I absolutely love engagement, absolutely. And so I invite you to dial in on any one of the numbers below. Dial in on any of the numbers that are below. And we will take your call. You can talk about the subject that Papa has given me to talk about today, or you can talk about whatever subject is relevant to you. Either way, we will be here having a life-giving conversations, because that's what I'm put on the earth to do, is to have life-giving conversations. For the love of it, we'll take on many forms. We just never know what Papa has in store for us. Everything, however, will be anchored in Luke 10:27. Love the Lord thy God with all of thy heart, strength, soul, mind, and thy neighbor, wait on it, as thyself. As thyself. Love your neighbor as yourself. So this scripture assumes, beloved, that we're going to love ourselves. That's an assumption of Luke 10:27, that we will love ourselves. It is my life's intent that every soul knows love and know that they are loved. That's my life intent, that every soul knows love and know that they are loved. So to that end, every conversation we facilitate, all of the goals and strategies we share, beloved, the guests we have on the show, and the actions you are invited to take are all intended to lead you and I to the assumption in Luke 10:27. So today we are going to have this conversation about my life's intention. So as everything that I do flows from this notion of my life's intention, that every soul would know love and know that they are loved. So today is going to be a little bit more of a teaching day. And I have to watch that because I'm a teacher and, this is not necessarily the classroom. But at any rate, we're going to do a little bit of teaching today. So why does it matter to me? Why does it matter to me, Catherine Elaine Woods James, who grew up on the east side of Detroit, born in Charleston, West Virginia, but came here when she was 3. So for all intents and purposes, Detroit is my home. Grew up on the east side of Detroit, relocated to the west side when I got married and with child and all those kinds of things. So I've been in Detroit all of my life, basically. So why does it matter to me if every soul knows love and know that they are loved? First, because I just like people. I love people. I just absolutely, unequivocally love people. All people. All people. I love the concept of people. Like, I agree with Papa when he said, for God so loved the world. I am intrigued by people. We come in such diverse packages with a mosaic of backgrounds, and we all have something so uniquely individual to add to life. So just because I love people, I want people to be well. I want people to have the best opportunities and outcomes and possibilities. So that's one thing. I absolutely love people. And so from that vantage, I will always give people the benefit of the doubt. I just choose to live that way. That might be a rosy colored lens, outlook, whatever, but I choose to give humans the benefit of the doubt. Now it's tempered with the fact that I grew up on Mac and Holcomb. If you know, you know. So you can't grow up on Mac and Holcomb and just never take the rosy colored glasses off. You just cannot, okay? If you're going to survive well. And I did live well. So this posture, it just works for me. It allows me to live this amazing life with wonderful relationships, absolutely wonderful people who continue to show up in my life. And I'll speak a little bit more on this later. Wonderful, amazing people continue to show up in my life. So people have to present a reason for me to think adversely of them. People have to think a reason for me to think. They have to present a reason. I'm not going to assume. I'm not going to draw conclusions based upon the limited information, because I understand that sometimes what we see is not always what is. Sometimes we hear only a part of the conversation and not the whole conversation. So I am careful, very careful about drawing decisions, drawing conclusions about people without having had the opportunity to have the conversation. So, it doesn't work for me to think negative or ill will of someone. And if I find myself there, because of course I find myself there, I choose to not stay long. So if that means I simply accept what it is, how a person has shown up, and then I make the adjustment. I don't demand that somebody be different in some way. If it's not going to work, if we can't have a conversation to move forward, I'm going to move because I love me a whole lot and I want to be well. So while I'm standing around, demanding you ought to do this and you're supposed to do this and look at you and this, that, and the other, and because of you, I am. Oh, hold up, wait a minute. Not so. No. Own that. Yes, people do affect us and they impact us. But if somebody step on your foot one time, okay, and then you go back a second time, you give them benefit of the doubt, maybe it's a mistake. But if you go back the third time, you got to start thinking about what you do. And if you at the fourth, fifth, and sixth time and you saying they're stepping on your foot because they can't, oh, beloved, I'm inviting you to move your foot. Now, it might not be the optimal, and it might be challenging and difficult, that people, you might want them to be there. You might want to stay in the dance with them. But if your foot is hurting, I'm going to encourage you to move your foot. That's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Move your foot. And so, it is my intention, again, for every soul to know love, and loving God for me is synonymous. And however that works for you, because for me it is God and it is, Christ, and for you might have another, way. And so it is vital for to know love and to know that we are loved. So so to know love, to know God, and to know that you are loved. To know again. So let's look at what love means to me. Love is an action based on a conscious decision to value others. Love is an action based upon a conscious decision to value others. An action based on a conscious decision to value others. Or to value people, including you. That's the verb. The noun is a strong feeling of warm personal attachment or deep affection. A strong feeling, warm personal attachment and deep affection. I simply cannot imagine life without love. The love of God. The love of God. I simply cannot. Now, when I refer to God, I am not only speaking about religion, and I'm not only speaking about church. For some, that works, and for some, it does not work. And I know for others, this can be a difficult place. So I want to invite you to be able to love or have love from that which is bigger than you, more expansive, that which breathes life into you, beloved, that which calls you to your highest and your best and your greatest, and that which guides and comforts, that which anchors you, right? And for me, I call that God. You might have a different word for it. The beautiful part about it is that we get to choose. We get to choose. And that's what I do love about the God who is my Papa, is that he gave choice. Clearly, there was choice throughout his earthly ministry. I also can't imagine my life without the action of love being directed towards me, flowing into me without being loved, as well as without me loving and extending love out to others. So I can't imagine not having the love of God or love in that every soul would know that they are loved, right? Every soul would know love, that you would have a very intimate experience with this thing we call love, and know that you are loved. Now, let's see, where do I want to go? So love and loving and being loved is our birthright. And I have felt love all of my life, beloved, all of my life. And I know that's not the story for everyone, but I'm telling my story. I've belonged, or have felt belonged like I belonged all of my life. I have felt wanted and special all of my life. I didn't always feel safe, however, because we grew up in poverty. And when you grow up in poverty, in the inner city, anybody's inner city, there's some things you're going to experience that simply don't feel safe. I'm just saying. But, and sometimes things are simply not safe in those conditions. I often felt limited and powerlessness, and that was around growing up in poverty as well. But canceling it out, or at least buffering it, because of love, family love, because of belonging, family, because of being wanted and feeling wanted and feeling special, that those other things were kept at bay. Because they were intact, they kept the feelings of unsafe, powerlessness, and limitation in check. Love is a win-win. I'm just saying, I do not spend my time talking about love for the use of my breath. Love is a win-win. Now, if you can get access, because I saw that some people are having trouble getting in. If you can get access, call in at the number below. It's 313-868-4336, 868-0351, 868-0342. Call in if you can. So they stopped. Love stopped powerlessness, limitation from derailing my life. Love stopped it from derailing my life. Thank you, Mama Yvonne Woods. Thank you, Yvonne Woods. And she's no longer with us. 2008 is when she went, took her last earthly breath. So I'm grateful for my mama. Love her immensely. And for my grandmother, for all of my aunties. I grew up in a strong, matriarchic black women raising the children, taking care of it. And for me, it was amazing and life-giving. And it was some stuff, right? But my core stuff was intact because these strong black women handled their business as best that they could. And again, it worked for me. So it's from this place in seeing how they cared for others, blood or not. Like it was this, my grandmother fostered this amazing legacy that there was always room for more. So everybody got something to eat. There was always room for someone to sleep. There was always room for more. And so I too have family. You all have seen two of my nieces who are my church nieces, but they are my family. That was fostered because my grandmother did not make a distinction between those who were blood and those who were heart. Like, we are family. We are family. I'm just saying. I got all my sisters, brothers, cousins, friends with me, right? Okay. So y'all know I'll break out in a song in a minute. I'm just saying. So to think of now, it is from this place and seeing how they care for others that I have a love for people from this place. So for me to think of people being lonely, to think of people being alone or isolated, to think of people being without connection, no place and or no one to call their own, no support, feeling like they have to go it alone. There's deep sadness in me when I run across that in our human existence. Beloved, it's too many of us for that to be anyone's lived experience. It's too many. There's always someone for someone. We don't have to be alone. Now, I know that there's some environments that are toxic. And so do your work to make sure that you're not toxic and you're not contributing to the environment. Number one, because sowing and reaping is real. And we will draw into us what we put out. Now, I'm not saying that you're the reason for, but either way, it's going to work for you to do your work because you can create your own safe community by being safe community. You can create, if you don't have it, you don't have to stay alone and lonely and by yourself. Go be a friend. Go be a loving a family member. Go be one who can be trusted and who's safe and who loves on. It's going to come back to you. It has to. Because scripture says, God is not mocked. Whatsoever we sow, we will reap. Don't be deceived, it says. God is not mocked. If you sow, you're going to reap. If you sow love, you will reap love. If you sow healthy dialogue, you're going to reap healthy dialogue. If you sow, you're reckless with your mouth, what you think you're going to get back? Reckless response. I'm just saying, I'm very passionate about this. I believe in healthy relationships. I believe in living our best lives, and we don't live our best lives in isolation. We're not created to be in isolations. That is not our best life. So I'm inviting you, if this fits you, like my heart is heavy. When I run, I had the privilege of being an academic advisor at Wayne County Community College. I worked there for 36 years. And my last 6 years was as an academic advisor. And too often I would have individuals who come across my desk and they would say they don't have anyone. They don't have anyone to support them with their children. They don't have anyone to support them in this. They don't have anyone. I'm like, how is that possible? Because you grew up in somebody's family. Like, you didn't grow up in isolation. You didn't. You couldn't have. You couldn't have. Like, how is that possible? So anyway, that's one of the things that, as you know, I'd like to do something eventually with that from a nonprofit status. But so there was I had a family member who was incarcerated, and this family member was not speaking to me before they got incarcerated. But when I found out that they were, nothing inside of me would allow them to be there and me not go. And so for almost 2 years, every week, I drove about 45 to 50 minutes. Snow, sun, it didn't matter, rain, typhoon, because I couldn't imagine them not having someone who they could know was going to be there to see them. And I had a nephew. He was in the service, and my mom had just had surgery. We found out she had cancer. She had to have surgery. She had just had surgery. And we weren't going to go. He was in boot camp, Army, and no one was going to be able to go see him. And that was heavy on my heart. That was rough for me. But she had her surgery. She came out well. They got the cancer, so on and so forth. And so I said, hey, we got time to go. So with no sleep, right? I stayed up with my mom as long as I could. And then a van load of us went. We drove straight to Oklahoma, 22 hours. By the time we got there, hotel to change, we come into the base. We get there just as the soldiers are coming across. His eye catch our eyes, and my heart expands because he experiences love. I will travel. I've gone to Grenada. That's as far as I've gone to support my niece in a white coat ceremony. But I've gone to all kinds of states, all kinds of places. I've gone from one state in 12 hours to this state, because one niece in Maryland was having her sweet 16, and a nephew in Detroit was having his baby shower. Because for me, it matters that we love each other, we support each other, and all those kinds of things. So if I can, I will. It is my heart's, my soul, my life's intention that every person, every soul knows love. They have the experience of love, that they know that they are loved. And I will do everything within my power to make sure that happens. My heart won't let it just not. So a funny story, I'm going to tell a really quick funny story and not do the rest of my paper because I had way too many notes today. But this is like one of my superpowers, but any superpower can go awry. I had some crazy notion when I had my child. I had one birth child, but many heart children. I had some crazy notion that if he laid down too long, he was going to think he was in this world all by himself. I know that sounds very foolish. So was he spoiled? Oh yeah. My bestie, so he ended up going to daycare with Rolanda and my bestie's oldest sister, and she threatened to put him out of daycare every day because he wanted to be held all the time. But even with him, it was that same thing, just overboard a little bit. I couldn't imagine if he felt lonely because he was in the room by himself, laying in a whatever. I know better now, but I'm just saying. That's my funny story around that. So, again, if you're feeling lonely, there's something you can do about it. Look, a healthy love of self decreases the likelihood of loneliness, isolation, disconnection, and the absence of support. So that's why I teach self-love, because it starts with us. So even if we don't have it in our community, give it to yourself first. And from giving it to yourself, you can get an overflow, which is going to flow over to other people. It starts a reciprocal cycle, and then you'll get it back, because anything you give out, it comes back to you. This is law. We cannot get away from it. We cannot. Anything you do over and over and over and over again, it will come back to you. Like, even if you go and you find someone and you notice authentically they have a beautiful smile and you say it and it lights them up, that's going to in turn light you up because your comment to them just lifted their energy and now they are right. And so anyway, it's a win-win. It is a win-win. That is why I teach self-love. Self-love is an authentic acceptance and valuing of a person in the moment without a demand of other. Of course we change for our better. Of course we hold each other accountable. But if I can't love you where you are right now, then I failed you and I failed myself. And this whole enterprise called humanity and divinity together, right? Basically, it means that you are accepted and valued just where you are. So I've been created to help people, starting with myself, to live as their highest self, to love ourselves well, and to add love into the world one episode at a time. That's what we do here. So let's see. So I'm going to invite you to the work starts here. And the first step in this model is self-exploration. And the tool for loving yourself well is to tell yourself the whole truth about you. What's working and what's not working. What do you need to do differently, beloved? Tell yourself the whole truth. And metacognition, look that up. Meta, M-E-T-A, cognition. That's thinking about your thinking. You got to know what you're thinking. You got to know if you're telling yourself truths or if you're telling yourself a lie. If you're saying that you're not loved, you're not worthy, you're not valuable, all lies, not lies, you are. So let's move to our self-love mantra as we close our session for this. You are an irreplaceable, unrepeatable, remarkable miracle with your own special brand of brilliance. You are. Irreplaceable, unrepeatable, remarkable miracle with your own special brand of brilliance. So make sure that you join me on any of my social medias, beloved. There are many. If you go to anything and type in Dr. Catherine E. James, you will be able to find me on my social medias. You are invited to join More Love, Please. Thank you. More Love, Please is a movement. Go to our website, drcatherineejames.com. You can look at all of my books are there. My other book is, what's the other book? There it is. Freedom is Our Birthright. Thank you, thank you. You can get any of these from your major book distributors. And finally, as we move towards a close, remember the conversations that we have on this show. And of course, make sure you join us every Friday from 11:30 Eastern Standard Time right here. Remember, the conversations, tools, and strategies offered on this show is not ever intended as a substitute for official mental health practice. If you are in need of service, be sure to seek out mental health professional. Dr. Martin Luther King said, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You don't have to know about Plato and Aristotle to serve. You don't have to know Einstein's theory of relativity to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics in physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. You can be that servant. Beloved, this has been Dr. Catherine E. James serving you for the love of it from WHPR TV Detroit. I love you.
You know what? Excellence is what you want, and excellence is what you get. How are you living? What are you giving? If excellence is what you see, then excellent is who you be. What are you pursuing? It's all up to you. And when you come and make up in your mind.
Welcome, Judge Mathis. Thanks for coming to share an important message with the Wayne County taxpayers.
Well, thank you for allowing me to help, because Treasurer Shabri wants to work with Wayne County homeowners to keep families in their homes and prevent foreclosure.
If you're having trouble making your property tax payments, let us know. We have many resources to help.
Already in the payment plan? It's important you stay in good standing.
Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
Tune in to the I Love the Hustle show, Saturday afternoons at 12 p.m., followed by Mr. Smooth's Ballroom and Steppers Express Dance Show on WHPR 15.2 Detroit, Apple TV, Roku, and many streaming platforms. See you Saturday.
Detroit, let's prepare ourselves for a major chill. Introducing Detroit Black Ice Women's Football Team. For more information, email us info